To those of you joining us today, thank you for watching the Woburn Spotlight. I'm your host, Tyler Gates, here to bring you some positivity by talking to those in town, making big strides for the greater good. Today I'm very fortunate to have with me Marissa Testa from the Superior Group. Marissa, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolute pleasure. So we've gotten to know each other a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and I was really excited that your organization wanted to come out and highlight a little bit about what you're doing, because I think you guys have a great message, and hopefully we can get that out to the public today.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to be here. So again, thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. So let's just start and tell us a little bit about you, your background, where you came from, and where you're headed.
All right. Well, I am new to the greater Boston area and Woburn specifically. I'm originally from New York, and over the last several years I have hopped around quite a bit, both geographically and in my career as well. And I realized that what I was truly searching for is something more fulfilling in my career, Tyler. And I kept asking myself, well, what's missing? What's missing? And I kept coming back to that same sentiment that I want to be fulfilled by my career, and I want to do something that I'm truly passionate about. And I asked myself, well, what is that? And I kept coming back to the very same thing of, I want to help people. And I want to be able to embark on a career path that is fulfilling to me, and I'm going to be able to grow with a company through that career and really be successful, and again, make my mark, helping people on whatever scale that I can. So it's really quite kismet how this opportunity came to me. And I can tell you right now that I have no regrets. I never thought I would be one of those people who could finally say, I love my job and I love what I do, but I'm finally there, and Superior Group has helped me achieve that. And quite frankly, now I hope to be able to do that for other people in this business. That's a really good point.
That's a really good point, because that's essentially exactly what you do, and you do much more than just that, but you help change lives in a sense. So that must be very fulfilling. Absolutely. So you're originally from New York.
Yes.
Came to Boston.
Yes.
Making your mark on this city.
Yes.
I was new a couple of years ago, and I was recently introduced to you by Heather McGuire, the director of the WBA, and she had nothing but good things to say about you, and so I was really excited to get to know you. And I think you're right. I mean, from what I've seen, you're definitely leaving a mark on this area, and for all the better, or for all good reasons. So that's great.
Thank you.
So how long have you been with the organization to date?
I started at the end of August of this year.
Crazy to think.
Yes.
Come a long way since just August.
Yes.
And as we come to a close in 2017 and heading into 2018, you got some cool things on the agenda. So just tell us a little bit about your company and your role within the organization, if you don't mind.
Okay. So Superior Group was founded in 1957. We are a global organization, and we have locations in over 30 North American cities.
Really? Okay.
Yes, as well as 11 countries. We have been local here to Woburn for over 25 years, which is great. And we're really looking to expand upon that presence. We're a staffing firm, and we focus in talent acquisition and helping companies streamline their talent acquisition management processes. So our vision statement, Tyler, it's funny that you said changing lives. That touches upon our vision statement as a company.
Really?
Yes. So that statement is that we connect people and businesses in ways that change lives. And that really circles back to the career that I was looking to fulfill my desires of something I'm passionate about. We consider ourselves to be in the people, process, and outsourcing business. So on the people side, that's really twofold. We help job seekers, both active and passive, find new or better jobs in their career search. And likewise, we help businesses find quality talent that they need in a timely fashion and at a competitive price.
There's a lot there, but a lot goes into it as well.
Yes, yes. On the process side, to take it a step further, we find that many companies and businesses have elected to outsource the management of their talent acquisition processes. And Broadleaf Results is a certified women-owned division of our organization. And they offer this this service through vendor-managed solutions, such as WorkNexus and recruitment process outsourcing. And to take it to the outsourcing portion of our business, when we were founded in 1957, we started out as a CAD design outsourcing business, and that is still one of our key deliverables today.
Really? What are some of the other areas of focus that you have within your organization?
So we specialize in contingent and direct labor placement, contract labor placement, payrolling, executive searches, and recruitment process outsourcing.
So you have quite the suite.
Yes.
So let's take a little bit deeper dive. What's your role within the organization? If it was branding, I'd say you're doing a great job, but I'm sure you wear more than just that hat.
Thank you. Yes, I certainly do. My role with the company is to grow our sales and drive our sales through providing consultation to businesses that face challenges in their hiring needs and that have struggles with their talent acquisition processes. So what I do is I partner with companies to review their current state and take them to their desired state. Now, this is done through a consultative approach by understanding their goals and, like I said, reviewing where they want to go. It's done through all the verticals that I just explained to you, the payrolling, contingent and direct labor placement. And that is really how we take them from where they are to where they want to be. So I consider myself and my role with the company as a connector, so to speak. Someone who really bridges the gap between the workforce and the local talent pool.
Bridge the gap, I like that. So what kind of companies do you partner with? Follow up to that question.
Well, we partner with a broad array of companies ranging from small startups to Fortune 1000 businesses. So having said that, we are very selective in the companies that we partner with. And we need to be if we want to remain true to our vision statement. Like, you know, if you think about that, partnering with companies that are connecting people and businesses in ways that change lives, Tyler, we want to find people the jobs that they seek to fulfill their career desires. And likewise, find the talent that companies truly need to grow. So we focus on aligning with businesses that really do value that and value a partnership mentality versus a transactional mentality.
So you're really a relationship manager in a sense.
Yes.
You're working with these companies to understand what they need. And
absolutely.
It's not just a transaction. The service-based world that we're in, it sounds like Superior and yourself included have figured that out, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. So what are we seeing out there in the marketplace? Let's start with Woburn. Maybe they talk about Greater Woburn, and you're a national company and actually in 11 countries. So can you kind of start narrow and expand on that a little bit?
Sure. So locally in the greater Boston area, unemployment is currently at 3.1%. That is 1 point lower than the national average of 4.1%. So what does that mean for us? That means we are in a candidate-driven market. To be more specific, what that means, Tyler, is that the candidate or the talent or the job seeker really does define the marketplace that we're in right now. If you think back to when the economy was in such a tizzy and we really were facing an economic crisis, it was an employer-driven market. So companies didn't have to worry about how to attract talent. People needed jobs, and they were therefore lining up outside the doors. Employers were able to dictate salaries, job requirements, whatever they wanted to really get the right talent in. Well, long gone are those days.
Certainly.
Yes. Now being candidate-driven, it means that people are really, they can drive what they're looking for, and that you are seeing more of a trend of a passive job seeker, meaning someone who currently already has a job. So this puts a challenge on all companies to reposition their branding and their company in a way that's going to be more enticing to attract candidates. That'll bring me into giving advice for employers and how they will do that. The first and key component is to go off the assumption that every candidate that they want to hire is already employed. Why would you do that? Well, given that it's a candidate-driven market, it's really important to assume this, because it's going to force you and compel you to reevaluate how you're positioning your open jobs and your branding to candidates in the market.
I would have never thought of it that way. Interesting approach.
Yes. The second is to evaluate your company brand. So where are you in the market? What's your visibility? We have so many different social media platforms available to us. If you notice, the most successful businesses out there are the most visible in the market. So utilize those tools available to you. We will evaluate what your website looks like. We'll look at your social media presence, and in turn take back feedback that we're getting from candidates in the marketplace and tell you what we're seeing, so we can really help you evaluate that brand presence that you have.
Certainly, that's what candidates are looking for.
Yes.
Right? If you can't catch someone's eye in a very short manner or a quick manner, it's not necessarily as appealing, right? Because they're already potentially working.
Yes, absolutely. Another bit of advice is to review your job description. So I can't tell you how many times I see in the market antiquated job descriptions that really don't hold true to the job at hand any longer. A lot of times they're often written very blandly. They're not exciting. They're not attractive to candidates. So someone will read a piece of paper, read a job description online, and say, "Oh, that doesn't sound enticing to me."
Exactly. You get one chance.
Yes. Yes. So that's something that we challenge employers to really focus on. And I challenge employers, quite honestly and frequently, to provide 3 compelling reasons why a company or why a candidate would want to join them. So compelling reasons could be, for example, something like disruption. Do you have a product or a service in the market that you're offering that is revolutionizing the market? Purpose. Why is your company out there? What value do you bring to employees and to candidates? Company growth. Have you recently acquired a new business or landed a new account that shows that your company is currently growing? Career advancement. Define a clear career advancement path for employees and candidates alike. Having a voice. Candidates want to have a voice. They're tired of being in companies and being in roles where they don't understand that they're valued. It's really important to show people and show your employees that they're valued in your organization. They're only going to want to work harder and work better for you in that process. And another piece of advice is to define your compensation package. And by compensation, I mean total compensation. Okay. A lot of people just think salaries, right? You hear compensation.
That's fair.
You're in finance world, you think, what's my compensation here? Well, that can be defined by so much more than that. That includes 401k, matching, PTO, holiday time, profit sharing, health benefits. There's so much more that goes into the total compensation package, and companies really need to focus on that and define that so that candidates can really understand it. Another bit of advice is to define your interview process. So it's really important to understand and define your interview process. If you understand that from top level management down, you're going to have a much more successful view of how you want to achieve growth and grow through bringing on the best candidates possible.
Just to elaborate on that, because I'm not sure I'm exactly clear. So from defining it from a top-down structure, so say let's start an executive, is that just really understanding the job description, understanding our interview process, all the way down to the person doing the interview? Just mind elaborating on that a little bit?
Yes. So have you ever gone on an interview and you just felt like it was very disorganized? and perhaps they didn't have a clear, concise management style. Perhaps you met with 10 people at once, and then they wanted you to come in again and meet with one person, and then a phone interview, and it was just all over the place.
I have.
Okay. So I think that everyone can really attest to that.
Yeah.
And having a clear and defined interview process really streamlines the company's mission statement. It streamlines the company's management style, and it helps us to understand the type of company that we're working with. Think about it. If it's a company that seems very disorganized, you wouldn't want to go in and work for them. Well, likewise, using that partnership mentality, we would never want to partner with a company like that, because we don't want to send in our candidates to work for a company like that. We want to set them up for success, not for disappointment. And that translates to the onboarding process as well. So define the onboarding process, manage expectations. We find that turnover often happens within the first 90 days of employment.
I would have never guessed that.
Yes.
Wow.
So a lot of times people feel like it was a bait and switch. They were sold a false bill of goods.
I've seen that, especially in my own natural network recently. It's just you're sold something that you don't expect when you get there, or something that isn't real, I guess, to you when you get there.
It's quite unfortunate, and so our goal is to mitigate that and really help companies structure that out. So therefore, within 30, 60, and 90 days, there are a set list of guidelines and expectations that are really outlined. So there's always clear and constant communication between the employer and the employee. And the very last bit of advice is to talk about your company culture. I think we're hearing about that more and more, especially now. It's become a hugely prevalent topic, especially with startups, in the tech industry.
That's just where we are in the country too, right? It's just a very fitting conversation to have for that.
Yes. So it's very important to focus on what type of work environment is it? Is this a social setting? Are there break rooms? Are there lunch rooms? Are there company outings? What are you doing to engage your employees? How are you making them feel involved? What kind of impact can the employees have on the business? What do employees do to blow off steam? What kind of actions do they, or activities do they have where employees can feel like they can take a break, take a rest? That's very, very important to focus on right now.
Okay. And are there any trends in the marketplace, things that are really just jumping off the page, either here in Greater Boston or elsewhere?
Absolutely. So as I said before, it's truly a candidate-driven market. So candidates are able to demand more flexibility in their work schedule, more flexibility in what they're working on, as well as demanding better compensation. So employees are truly starting to understand the value of culture, as we talked about as well, which is very important. I'd like to talk a bit about the candidate experience.
Please do.
So with all the social media platforms that we have available to us right now, you know that if a candidate does not have a positive experience, what's the first thing they do?
Probably pull out their phone.
Yes.
Frankly.
They go, they post it online. There's so many different platforms available. And that's key. And companies are starting to realize, oh my gosh, we need to really evaluate our candidate experience. So this is one of the services that we provide, in advising and providing consultation on how to do that and things to better themselves. Jobs on the rise in Greater Boston area and worldwide really are in the tech industry. So I'm sure you can't argue with that, or I'm sure you saw that one coming. Yeah,
certainly.
So we're seeing a lot of jobs growing, such as software developers, mobile developers, website developers, business and data analysts, engineers. As businesses grow, we're also seeing administrative roles growing, as well as sales and marketing roles, accounting, financial analyst roles, and so on.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you had a lot going on, right?
There's a lot going on in the market.
So you've given us some good advice. You're telling us about some of the trends. Why Superior Great, or why would somebody give Marissa Testa a call? Just talk about a little bit about some of the values of working with your organization.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you asked that. Well, first and foremost, I have to say I'm passionate about the business. So just taking it on a personal level, this is something that I'm very excited to be a part of. So I feel that I add a lot of value that way. I mean, think about it. I'm helping companies hit their bottom line, bring in talent that they really need desperately to grow and to prosper and to succeed. I mean, that's so exciting to me. And on the other hand, I'm partnering with job seekers in a multitude of disciplines and helping them find jobs. So what's more rewarding than that, right?
You shared a story, I think it was a couple weeks back, about a candidate that you had delivered some good news to.
Yes.
And something along the lines of, you could definitely hear the kids in the background.
Yes.
How far does that go? I mean,
it's huge. Honestly, that was one of our recruiters. She had shared that story with us, and it was so touching, Tyler. She was on the phone with a candidate, and they were accepting the job position. She was offering the position to this candidate, and you could hear in the background the kids asking, "Did you get it, Daddy? Did you get it?" And as he's, clearly nodding his head yes and trying to keep the professional call going, you could hear he got tackled to the ground, and there were giggles in the background, and it really was just such a rewarding feeling. I'm so glad that you remembered that and that it left an impact on you.
I couldn't remember the details, but I did remember how powerful the story was.
Yes.
You hear about things like that in movies, but to hear it and see it firsthand and to live it, and you guys do it on a daily basis, it's got to be something else.
Yeah.
It's got to be something else.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. And to take that a step further, my role and the value that I can bring is that I really come from a place of understanding the greater Boston marketplace. So we have several business analysis tools available through Superior Group that allow me to be a marketplace specialist.
Okay.
I work with these companies on a level to advise on what jobs are trending, what jobs are easy or hard to fill at the moment, what are salaries like, what are candidates driving and pushing for in certain roles. How can we get you the best talent? These are values that I can bring to the table. Educating on changing labor laws, avoiding mines, so to speak, so we can avoid bringing in candidates and having them not work out and then having to get rid of them a few months later, or worse off, having them leave on their own accord. So these are certain areas that I feel that I can bring value to companies.
So if an organization sees this and just says, I have to know more, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, well, that's simple.
Simple. All right. That's what I was looking for.
Yes. They can actually contact me directly. Okay. My number is 781-281-4491. Okay. And my email address is testam@superiorgroup.com. And we also have a local job board, and that is superiorjobs.com as well.
And that has all the everything that's posted in the area or to date or what's open? Is that fair to say? Okay.
Yes.
Superior, what was it?
Superiorjobs.com.
Okay, yes. I was curious.
And I fully encourage job seekers to reach out, and companies as well. And I'd like to, I don't know if we're running out of time, but I would love to give
not at all. Floor is yours.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. I'd love to just give some advice to job seekers right now.
Please do. That's we were hoping for a great takeaway, and I think this is it.
Yeah, yes. So job seekers, it's very similar to employers in the marketplace as well. So we talked about branding before. Well, it's key to work on your personal brand. So we do this in our daily lives, right? And that goes beyond social media, but let's talk about social media first. Okay. So we're constantly doing this in our personal lives. If you have an account that you want for personal use, be sure to make the settings private. Switch those on or off. It's pretty simple. And likewise, utilize platforms that are available to us to really, to our advantage, to really market ourselves professionally. Take LinkedIn, for example. It's such a wonderful platform and provides so many opportunities to gain exposure. You never even know what personal connections can turn into professional connections on LinkedIn. So it's important to use that. Also, be honest. Be honest with yourself, be honest with employers, be honest in the interview process. If there's something that you want to do, make it heard, make it known. And if you don't think that it's one of your strengths, well, don't try to force it, because chances are it's not going to work out. We focus on beliefs, attitudes, and routines. So that's something that is a constant in our branding. Beliefs, just focus on what you believe in and try to stay true to it. It's about doing something you're passionate about. Attitude, believe you can get it done and go out there with that mentality and do it. And routines, we talk about doing things on a daily basis and ensuring that those routines that we're continuously doing are not hindering us, but they're benefiting us, both on a personal and professional manner.
That's great advice for both organizations and the job seekers. And kind of hearing you recap that good advice for the job seekers, it sounds like you had all of those things when you found Superior. And
yes.
So it's great to see that you're finding, or you're hitting your stride in your career. I think Superior Group is lucky to have you, and I'm glad that you found them.
Thank you.
Anything that you would like to share? I scribbled a bunch of notes. I usually recap, but there was just so much good stuff. I'm gonna give you the floor. What is the final message or the final takeaway that you'd really like somebody watching this to be able to take home with them?
Well, really, Tyler, I just want to be a local resource to businesses and job seekers alike. We have a fantastic network and group of recruiters behind us at Superior Group. I already told you what a large firm we have, but I want to become a face in the community that is a trusted and reliable source. And if companies have any questions regarding any marketplace trends or salary requirements or labor laws, I encourage them to reach out to me, and job seekers alike as well. If they have any questions or need help writing resumes, want to expand their knowledge or join a new career path, reach out to us. Again, I gave you my contact information. My goal is to just be a marketplace expert for you and someone that you can reach out to, have a conversation with, and see where we can go together.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing a lot. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be with us and share your company's message and a little bit about you.
Oh, thank you, Tyler. It's been a real pleasure.
My pleasure, Marissa. And thank all of you for watching today's show with Marissa Testa from Superior Group. And remember, we all have one life to live. Let's all try to do our part. I'm your host, Tyler Gates. Join us again next time for another episode of the Woburn Spotlight.